All right, everybody. All right. And it is that time. It is that time for another edition of Marilyn's Cafe Society Radio right here on the YouTube channel. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday. It's December 7th, 2021. Man, how are you? How's your week? Did you get a lot accomplished? Did you get the decorations up? Are you in the spirit of the holiday Christmas season? Yeah, I'm trying to be. I'm working on it, everybody. I'm doing the best I can to make it happen, and taking care of business as well. In fact, some folks have been reaching out asking, why am I not on camera? Well, there's a couple different reasons, but the main one is I've been trying to create this radio studio vibe where I record the show. And so, and radio, all you get is audio, right? And so that's what I've been trying to create. But maybe backed by popular demand, I'll get back on camera before Christmas. How about that? All right. Well, that's what's happening with me. And of course, we're in the final quarter, the last stretch of 2021. And so I've been doing some reflecting. Yeah. It kind of made me feel a little down in the dumps because I've missed some goals that I set. Haven't quite hit it yet. But, there's still a few weeks left in the year, so perhaps I'll get there. Certainly been working towards it. And I hope that your year-end reflections are bringing you some joy. I'm still joyful because I have accomplished some things, but those big things that you want to hit is what my challenge is. And so prayerfully, you've hit some big ones. And if not, don't get down in the dumps. And if you do, don't stay there. Just pull yourself back up, find that joy, and push on through, all right? And like I said, who knows? We still have a few weeks left in 2021. And with God, all things are possible. You just got to believe it, see it, believe it, do the work, and achieve it. All right. All right. All right. So are you ready to get into coronavirus updates? Well, here are the numbers. The global totals are now just under 266.8 million COVID-19 cases, and that's according to Johns Hopkins University. There are now more than 5,267,000 deaths worldwide. And here in the United States, we're now reporting just under 49.3 million confirmed cases and 790,014 deaths. Now that's up about 11,000 deaths since last Tuesday's report. As for China, well, they're now reporting 111,873 cases, which is 615 more cases since last week's report. And in terms of COVID-19 deaths, they are still holding at 4,849. Now, listen, this Omicron has been all in the news in the last week or so. And of course, here in the United States, the reports are that, some cases have popped up in quite a few states. But, as we reported last week, the first Omicron case was discovered in southern Africa back on November 9th. And we've learned quite a bit. First and foremost, it is a variant of COVID-19 or the coronavirus that they say came from China. And South Africa has seen cases soar since that November date, but the increase in COVID-19 hospitalizations and deaths have been very minimal. And so, the thinking is that the Omicron variant is highly contagious but less severe. In fact, Dr. Angelique Coetzee, who was a practicing physician and head of the South African Medical Association, said just last week that most of the Omicron patients have displayed mild symptoms and did not require hospital care. Also, there are fears that the variant can, be a bit more aggressive in terms of evading the protections of the vaccine or even prior infection. But they're saying that it's still a bit too early to tell if that is in fact the case. Now, most of the patients in the hospital with COVID-19 over in South Africa were unvaccinated, and the patients in the United States who authorities have confirmed were sickened by the Omicron variant were vaccinated. And most have shown only mild symptoms and recovered without having to go to the hospital. Although, again, Dr. Anthony Fauci was on CNN just the other day saying how it's still too early to make any, definitive statements about this Omicron. But for right now, it does look like it's not that much of a big deal. So we'll just, continue to follow up on this. And by all accounts, they're saying that the Delta variant is the one that is tending to do the most damage. So we'll see. All right. And other coronavirus news, New York City is pressing on with a separate private sector vaccination requirement, compliments of current mayor Bill de Blasio, while Biden's federal mandate has hit another legal brick wall. Now, his mandate would apply to all companies with 100 or more employees and was set to go into effect on January 4th, but has been blocked now nationwide by a federal appeals court. So we'll watch and see, what the developments are now. Of course, we all know the big concern here is people's human rights, a person's right to determine what they want to do with their own bodies and health. Now, meanwhile, new incoming mayor, Eric Adams, this is going back to New York City, the new mayor who will replace de Blasio on January 1st of 2022, has gone on record to say that his office will evaluate this new policy that de Blasio just signed into law and, from there, determine whether or not he will continue with it or reverse it. So stay tuned, everybody. Oh, and the difference between de Blasio's new mandate versus Biden's mandate is Biden's mandate, again, was just for companies with 100 plus employees. And de Blasio's new mandate is for every employer to make sure that their employees are vaccinated. So again, we'll follow it and see what happens. Now, in the mean and between time, you know what to do. Continue to stay safe and protect yourself, meaning if you want to be vaccinated, get vaccinated. If not, be sure, or even if you are vaccinated, be sure to wear your mask, social distance, and just be very careful. Wash your hands and all of the things that we did last year this time, okay? All right. In other news or business-related news, just late last week, in order to avert a government shutdown. Let me do that again. Just late last week, in order to avert a government shutdown, Congress and President Biden extended funding for the federal government through February 18th, 2022. Again, that means the government is not gonna shut down. So that is good news, right? All right, but there is a problem with, these extensions that they keep signing. So, it affects a lot of things. So we'll watch that. But the fate of the Build Back Better Act still sits in the Senate. And that's been since November 19th when it passed the House. So, we talked about in previous shows what some of the sticklers are, and we'll just wait and see what happens with that bill, right? And other news, Netflix has announced that it has fulfilled a pledge to offer more home and small business loan opportunities for Blacks and Black communities. Now, they have moved 2% of their cash holdings, that's around $100 million, into Black-led banks and financial institutions. Now, this program was first announced in late June of 2020 and implemented in a rush of social justice commitments from companies as a result of the national reckoning that followed the murder of George Floyd. Now, this is a good thing, right? It is a good thing. A whole lot of companies and corporations, in a knee-jerk reaction, made pledges, said some things that they were going to do, and some of them have not done it yet. So kudos to Netflix for getting this done. But, we just have to be careful and mindful of the fact that there may still be some other hurdles or challenges that Blacks and people of color have to overcome in order to make this kind of pledge truly successful. Those things like employment and wage disparities, you know what I'm saying? And, prayerfully, they've looked into some of the reasons for that the failure rate of small Black businesses is so high. Hopefully they've addressed that. And this pledge to Black institutions and banks and things of that nature. So we'll watch it and see how things go. Now, you can actually watch this journey, watch this process that Netflix went through their new web series that's entitled Banking on Us. The first episode, Investing in the Black Community, premiered yesterday. And the second episode on business ownership will roll out on December 8th, which is tomorrow, Wednesday, December 8th. And then the third episode on home ownership will roll out on December 15th. So mark your calendars. And guess what? It's these videos, these episodes are premiering on YouTube. So you can just, go to YouTube and search for the Netflix channel, and you will find it, or just Google Banking on Us and you will find that web series. And you see the process that they went through. Hopefully it inspires and encourages others who have made pledges to go ahead and make sure that they make good on their pledges and promises to help Black communities and Black people. All right, moving right along, Reuters is reporting that the Securities and Exchange Commission is investigating Tesla. This is after a whistleblower claimed the company failed to notify its shareholders and the public of defects in the car's solar panel system that, of course, led to fires, or could lead to fires. Now, for the fourth straight day, Tesla's shares have declined. And speaking of the stock market and money and all of that, markets have been pretty volatile due to concern over the new variant that Omicron sounds like like it should be a video game of some sort, right? Anyway, the stock market has been kind of volatile due to Omicron and inflation. However, United States stock indexes recouped most of their losses after preliminary reports from the researchers in South Africa who said this Omicron could be less severe than initially thought. So here are how things were looking As of around 3 o'clock today on Tuesday, December 7th, the Dow was up 492.40 points to 35,719.43. The S&P 500 was up 95.8 points to 4,686.75, and the Nasdaq was up 479.50 points to 16,325.66. Gold is looking pretty good. It's up $6.39 to $1,784.69 per ounce, and oil is also up $1.51 to $71.54 per barrel. Still haven't seen those gas prices go down yet, right? Well, I'll have to pay attention next time I'm out just to verify that. But I know over the weekend they were still pretty much where the prices had been in the last month or so. So we'll see. I think the report was after Biden released all those barrels of oil that it would take a little bit before we see the prices come down. So prayerfully by, before Christmas, it'll all take place. Well, in other news, just one last news report. Now, if you really like Swiss watches and have about $53,000 laying around, guess what? Watchmaker Patel Philippe, in partnership with Tiffany, is releasing 170 limited edition versions of its famous Nautilus Ref 5711 watch. Now, the watchmaker had recently announced that it would retire the Ref 5711 next year. So if you get, one of these 170 limited edition versions, if you're lucky enough to get your hands on one, you'll more than likely be able to resell it for a lot more than $53,000. So think of it as an investment, right? All right. Well, one last thing, everybody, before we cut out on this Tuesday. And I ran across this particular story or bit of information, I should say, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when I was doing some things, working on some projects around the house, and was considering taking on a paint job. And actually, I did some smaller jobs, but this article caught my attention, and it reminded me of what I had been told by a professional painter some years ago, and my dad, many moons ago, back in the day, whenever they would have a layoff or the plant was shut down at Ford Motor Company, he would go into his handyman mode and take on painting jobs and, little small projects for people just to make money in the mean in between time. And I remember him telling me this. So let me tell you what this information is right now. And kudos to you if you happen to have known this already, and just, food for thought if you didn't. So listen, anyone who's considering doing a paint job in the house, and most of us, you just go out, you say, oh, I want to paint, and then you go out into the hardware store or the big box stores like Menard or Home Depot or whatever, and you pick out your color, and then you run home, you get your brush and everything, and you either paint, or you might get, a handyman or somebody that in the family who can paint the wall. Now, here is the difference between me, you, and a professional. The professional painter knows that you need to purchase primer as well as paint. Yes, primer. What is primer? That's what I used to ask. What is primer? Well, primer is some stuff that looks like paint, but you put it on the wall. I guess you have, you have to wipe the wall down prior to painting and let it dry thoroughly. And then you put the primer on, and the primer helps protect the paint layers from getting absorbed by, the wall material, whatever. And so, the difference between painting after you've primed the wall and painting without a primer is that if you don't use the primer, you could see, very early on, after you've painted, you could see the paint chipping, you could see some other inconsistencies in the wall. And so the primer serves a great purpose. And so that's it. That's it. You have to prime the walls before you actually put the paint color on the walls. Yes. I hope that little tip had helped you. Now, listen, if you, when you go to the store to get the paint, you'll notice, if you're paying attention, I noticed this just, after I saw this report, this information that I just shared, I went out into the stores, and they're now selling paint that has the primer in it. Right. It's pretty expensive too, but yeah, you can get the paint that has the primer in it, or you buy the primer separately before you put the paint color on your walls. I hope that helps somebody. It certainly helped me. All right, everybody. And that's all I have for today. That's all I have. I do want to announce our word for the month of December 2021. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right, here it is. In spirit. In spirit. In spirit. It's INSPIRIT. In spirit. And it means encourage or enliven someone. Encourage or enliven someone in spirit. So let's practice that word for all of this month, December. And then remember, we're going to do a review starting January of all the words that we learned for 2021. Because, repetition helps you really, 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 really learn and keep the words, in your memory, in your mindset. All right. All right, so that's what we'll do. But for December 2021, the new word is in spirit. Now, remember, we started this back in December of 2020, and that word was mirific. And that one, hopefully, maybe I'm being a little bit selfish here, because for me, mirific has not been a problem. I can use mirific all throughout the day if I wanted to. And so I'm thinking that with other people, that may be the case too. Those of you who are following along with this, learning a new word every month, really, really learning it and meditating on it. So that's why I didn't do a repeat of mirific. Remember, mirific means wonders and achieving wonderful things and amazing. But January through this December of 2021, we're going to review all of the words that we learned so that they really stick with us. So I think last week I shared some of the ones that have stayed with me, but there's more that have not. And so because I feel like I need to review it, we're all going to do it together. Okay? All right. And remember, everybody, we did have that winner for November's countdown to Christmas giveaway. And so we still have time to add more names to the Golden Cup. If you want your name thrown in there to be the winner for December's drawing, shoot an email to producer@Maryland'sCafeSociety.com with your name and contact information. That way I can reach out to you if your name is pulled, okay? And we still have time, for your business, you have a product, a brand, service, whatever, and you want to contribute to the giveaway, just again, producer@Maryland'sCafeSociety.com, and we'll work everything out that way. What else? Also, remember the email club. If you want to be a part of Monday's email club, send an email with your email address to Marilyn's Cafe Society at yahoo.com, and we'll just add you on to that. And what else? Oh, the website. Remember to check out the website, marilynscafesociety.com. There you can connect with me on my social media platforms and the weekly blog. Remember to check out the blog. Last week's blog, I got some great feedback. Last week's blog was pretty awesome. So make sure that you go back and take a look at it. Usually by Wednesday or Thursday of every week, we have that up and ready to roll. And also, just make sure that you go back and check out some of the older shows on this YouTube channel. You'll really, really like them. So be sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified as soon as I get a new video posted. And by all means, share. I'm happy to announce that since I relaunched the YouTube, what was that, in February of 2018. Oh my goodness, almost 4 years ago. Wow. Anyway, since I've relaunched, my numbers have quadrupled. Yeah, quadrupled in terms of views. And on the social media platforms, the numbers are up too. And for some reason, YouTube said that on some of the social media platforms, when I post a YouTube channel or video on social media platforms, sometimes YouTube doesn't pick that up and count it as a view. So I don't know. That's interesting. But anyway, like, subscribe, and share the YouTube channel, my friends. All right, let's see. That's it. Okay, so what is love for this particular show? She was. Oops, I did it again. So let me go off the top. What is love? Love is, let me think about something that is really, 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 really important that I can tie in my love is with for today's show. I'm just going to say love is being great. Okay. Love is being great. So make sure for the rest of the week, not only should you live, laugh, and love, but also be great, my friends. All right. As always, it's been a pleasure and a privilege, and we will do this all over again on the next show. Peace, everybody.